Democracy is the government of the people, for the people and by the people. Well, this is what we all know about it. It is a kind of governance that frees people from autocracy. But sometimes in a democracy, conflicts of interest and viewpoints arise, and those who wield power are constrained by the influence and pressure exerted on them by these conflicts. But how do they resolve them? What is their way of looking at these problems? And more importantly, if situations become unbearable for citizens, then how can they exercise control and influence on the democracy? Well, that's what we will study in this chapter, Popular Struggles and Movements. We've studied about the story of how democracy was established in the country Poland, which was under the communist rule. This story reminds us about the role played by the people in the making of democracy. Now let us read two recent stories of that kind and see how power is exerted in democracy. The first is about the movement of democracy in Nepal. You see, Nepal witnessed an extraordinary popular movement in April 2006. The movement was aimed at restoring democracy. And well, restoring because they had already achieved democracy in the year 1990 by overthrowing the monarchical or kingship rule over there. See, at first the king of Nepal formally remained the head of the state, and the real power was exercised by popularly elected representatives. But King Birendra, who had accepted this transition from absolute monarchy to constitutional monarchy, was killed in mysterious massacre of the royal family in 2001. Now after this, King Gyanendra took over the new king of Nepal, but he was not prepared to accept democratic rule. Now at his stage, the democracy in Nepal was not strengthened as it was a new rule. Anything new needs time to be accepted and become popular, right? Well, this situation was an opportunity for King Gyanendra, and he exploited it. He took advantage of the weakness and unpopularity of the democratically elected government. Then in February 2005, the king dismissed the then Prime Minister and dissolved the popularly elected parliament. So the movement of April 2006 was aimed at regaining popular control over the government from the king. So how did this movement come through? People's successful struggle against privatization of water in Bolivia reminds us that popular struggles are integral to the working of democracy. So what really happened during Bolivia's water war? Well, Bolivia is a poor country in Latin America. But when the World Bank pressurized the government here to give up its control of municipal water supply, the government sold these rights for the city of Cochabamba to a multinational company. This company immediately increased the price of water by 4 times than what people were paying before. Many people received a monthly bill of 1,000 rupees in a country where average income is about 5,000 rupees a month. So naturally, this led to a spontaneous popular protest. In January 2000, the labor, human rights and community leaders formed a new alliance. They organized a successful 4-day general strike in the city. After this, the government agreed to negotiate and the strike was called off. But nothing changed for the common people. The agitation was started again in February, which the police tried to suppress with utmost brutality. Then another strike followed in April. This prompted the government to take further action. So, they imposed martial law. But the power of the people was such that it forced the officials of the MNC to flee the city and made the government concede to all the demands of the protesters. Eventually, the contract with the MNC was cancelled and water supply was restored to the municipality at old rates. So this came to be known as Bolivia's water war.
Tutormate. For more amazing video lectures, download the free app on Apple App Store or Google Play Store